Hi guys, delivering part 4. I'm already in orbit. Made a few changes, just bear with me, coming up to intercept. Changes that are made on the ascent stage. I've put 4 fins to help with stability and roll. Didn't seem to work that well this time, although it wasn't too bad. I've also added extra little bits here. If you remember, previous sections just had the spare docking ports here. So instead I used radial attachment point to add an RCS tank with 4 RCS quads on, and then the docking port. Kind of looks a little bit better. Reason for that was actually relatively simple. Decided that needed RCS on the rear end of the noodle section as I'm placing it. So decided that if I put them like that, gives me a bit more manoeuvrability, looks a bit better, looks a bit cooler. But also I've set action group 9 to enable and disable those RCS. That way when I come to deorbit the noodle, I can just disable the rear sections of RCS, and then only the front section actually has the control, the RCS, etc. Excuse me. That way, hopefully, I can avoid the issue of basically the gut-wrenching spinning that happened on my first attempt. So we're just coming up to close intercept, 2.9 kilometers. So as you can see right now, those RCS ports are disabled. If I whack the group key, there we go, and they're now enabled. So for the time being, let's go ahead and keep them disabled. Now, the question becomes, where's my noodle? To the right, so it should be over there. Oh, there it is. And 2.9, so let's go ahead and kill our relative speed, relative velocity, whatever you want to call it. There we go. Now I'm going to enable those RCS because we need to do some manoeuvring. We've still got the ascent stage with us, which I've decided the best course of action is to keep it till we're very, very close to the noodle. And then when we're on approach to the noodle for docking, I can turn prograde and eject the ascent stage, which will then auto deorbit and go back to Kerbal. Kerbin, rather. So there we go. We need to use translation controls now to alter our trajectory so it heads towards the noodle. Again, annoyingly, we've still got a bit of spinning. What I'm tempted to do, is to put reaction wheels on the ascent stage, so you get the reaction wheels towards the back as well. Hopefully that will help out with the wobbling backwards and forwards. Hopefully. I need to pick up a bit of forward speed here. Considering we're very well off on monopropellant, go ahead and pick it up to 10 meters per second. Adjust our trajectory. And there we go. Right, just to the left and just above, because of the speed difference in the orbit causes our orbit to shift. Which in this instance will drag our trajectory, well, in the terms of the nav ball, to the right and down. So let's go ahead and do the time warp. And now it loads this in the noodle. As you can see, it's dragged my trajectory down and slightly to the right. And we can already start seeing the noodle pick up. The lights on the noodle, rather. Not noodle pick up, really. One thing I've noticed, currently in the process of uploading the first video, which shows the first 3 stages going up there. I noticed my microphone on my webcam is extremely sensitive these days. I think that's I think it's been getting worse. I swear it's because of a Microsoft update. But yeah, the background sort of noise that you can hear, the humming and slight tin effect, that's actually the fans. I've got a 120mm fan at the front of my case for the twin air intakes that keep my hard drives cool. And I've also got one at the back for an exhaust, and there's one on the power supply. The processor, North Bridge and graphics card are all liquid cooled, so the fan for them, well, the heat exchanger for the liquid cooling system is actually outside. Yeah, I shoved the pipes through the window and the heat exchanger is outside, so the fan for it is also outside. So that's not what you can hear. So, there's my noodle. We're actually a little bit closer than what I'd normally like for ejecting the ascent stage, but oh well. Go ahead and kill our closing velocity, which is about there. That's close enough. Orbit mode, we need to switch to prograde. As it turns out, the approach that I made is pretty good. We haven't expended any RCS fuel from the forward section. Everything's been from these radial tanks here. Right, so a little bit of fuel left still. So we're going to save all the excess fuel. Might as well. Might need it for later for deorbiting, especially considering this thing doesn't seem to be quite as flexible as the last one. So, I mean, hell, if I end up with enough fuel, I might even go for something fun like a lap around the Mun. Yeah, with a 300-metre canoodle. That's going to be interesting. But for that we've got to see how big we can get it. So checking the staging, which is that one, and all the separatrons, looks good to me. So say goodbye. Bye. So we're going to go ahead and that's the bit here that we've just ejected. So let's go ahead and double check its orbit, and it's at 23,000, so we know that's going to come down. So we don't need to worry about it now. That's the noodle. Right, so we want to control from here. We don't have a target. Why don't we have a target? There we go. Target. Oh, no RCS enabled. Nope. Well, we're going to burn these first because I want to transfer the weight from the rear, which makes the rear RCS a little bit more effective. Oops. As you can see, it's way more responsive on translation controls, which is a good thing. Now we don't want to head directly for the marker that's on there. We actually want to go down towards the planet, which in the current state is up. This bit's going to take a while, so I'll fetch you back. Right, so we've moved over. We have set the docking port as target. So, whoops, no. So now I need to rotate ourselves round. What the hell are you doing? Reorientate the camera. Now with the large docking ports, they are a bit finicky when it comes to angles. We need to alter our view here. And orientate it like that. So not only do we need to rotate, but we also need to translate as well. So because of how the controls are set up on the keyboard, my left hand is operating the rotation controls and my right hand is operating the translation controls. So I'm doing both at the same time when I need to. It's helpful to practice that just in case you need to rotate with something that's spinning. Which on one of my previous videos I bumped an object that didn't have SAS on and it started spinning. and you watched me for about 15 minutes trying very hard to dock with it while it was spinning and tumbling and whatnot. And eventually I decided, screw it, and used the time warp to cease the tumbling. Which, yeah, okay, it's cheating, but I mean, come on. You saw me firing the RCS all over the place. So, bringing ourselves across before we get to it, so that we can get ourselves into alignment. Like that. Now our rotation's slightly off, so we're going to align the rotation by eye. Pretty much like that. Make sure we are over. Extend the solar panels, not because we need the power, but because it makes them then the same as the others, because the solar panels are on the same action group. Correcting our trajectory here. And we bumped it. Bugger it. Let's try this again. I don't think we're going to be far off on this one. That looks good to me. Dump. And yep, knock the SAS off, which then should align in its own time. Or not. You're dealing with huge tankers here. So sometimes their own inertia is their own downfall. And there we go. We are indeed docked. Oh, alignment was slightly off on that one. Don't! As you can see, the docking ports on that one were flush to the tank. On this one I've just added basically an RCS tank to pick the RCS quads up off the tank, and that's given me a ton of manoeuvrability. Now I could go and reorientate this section, but I really don't think it's necessary. So that's all docked. Go ahead and transfer that fuel forwards. Where did I put it? There it is. We'll fill that tank up there. And we'll use bugger all of the RCS up as well. Do we need any RCS on this section? Yes. Kind of good thing to have spare RCS sometimes. What is nose cone? Nope, that's full. Wonderful. So that bit's full of RCS. So we're going to go here and we're going to decouple. So over here, enable the RCS. Now it just happens our noodle is aligned with the orbit, which is quite annoying, so we need to thrust sideways. Then need to rotate round. Make sure we get clear of the noodle. We don't want to go smashing into it. And then we're going to go for a deorbit bollocks. There's a staging fault there. Shit. Springs to mind. Burn the RCS. No, that one. If I can stay near it, then it won't get deleted. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. I forgot about that staging fault. There we go, we're back to orbit. If it gets deleted, it's game over. Oh, do we want another failed challenge? So basically this pod has to stay near that section, or another manned vessel has to stay within a certain distance. I think it's 2.2 kilometers, same as the render distance. otherwise you run the risk of it being deleted. And if it gets deleted, then I've just failed the challenge. Now if I can get the pod back to it, which is why we have reserve RCS on the pods. Come on, where's my marker? There it is. At least the pods are pretty manoeuvrable, and I have a sneaky suspicion that we're not going to be able to get back as such. Might have to put more reserve RCS on the pods. Next video is the rescue. I'll use up the last of the RCS to try and stay in range, and there we go. I really hope that doesn't get deleted in the meantime. Anyway, I'm CW. If you're doing my challenge, do not crash, do not kill Kerbals until the end. Well, don't kill Kerbals and don't crash until the end. There we go. Bye for now.